Hey everybody, it's your boy Protagonist JWa Gardening with JWa, and today this right here is a Shangri-La mulberry. This is version 2 of this video because apparently when you move all your stuff to trash, it doesn't delete it, but it still takes up your phone space. So I literally got timed out right as I was about to end the video. It was a sad experience, but I'm back again. Round 2 will be better than ever. And what I was originally talking about and showcasing was, well, this is another gardening vlog video, obviously, as the title suggests. But this is the perfect time to talk about citrus. Right now, citrus have a beautiful flush of all these leaves. But you'll notice something else with all of these leaves, buds. Now, I have a lot of citrus. Why do I have a lot of citrus? First of all, super easy in our area. Second of all, very delicious. Third of all, and probably most important, my wife's favorite. My wife loves citrus, so as you can see, I have a lot. All the citrus in these beds, they're finally, last year was their first year getting planted in. This year, they're doing really well. They're handling everything like a champ. Look at all this fruit. Look at all these buds. You can see all the little white specks. They're about to bust. Just all around beautiful little lemon right there. I mean, you just keep going. All those little white specks, bud after bud after bud after bud after bud. This is a clone I took from my mom's plant, just growing crazy. But in the back, surprisingly, in the back, bud out like crazy back there. Super weird, because that's part of this tree, not the other tree next to it. It almost, I thought it was, look at that, buds. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely crazy. This one has way more growth than buds, but you know, it is what it is. So to get back to it, I have a lot of citrus I put in the ground this year. So everything in the raised bed I'm fine with. Obviously my established citrus I had, which is the Tango Mandarin, I'm super awesome with. But these guys right here, this guy's not put on as much bud because he's still trying to acclimate, which is really, really good. I want him to acclimate. But this guy, let me go over here. This guy, and then it's probably better I go this way. This guy's fine. It's hard to see it, but there's a lot of buds on this dude. A lot of those little white specks as you get closer, those all gonna be buds. But these guys, this guy who's now almost done with its flowering and just has a crap ton of fruit on it, I gotta cut off. But look at this. This guy, and then I go even closer. This guy, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Look at this. Look at that. Look at all those buds. On and on and on. And then look at this. This guy budded out when I had him. I waited for it to finish. And then I took all the fruit off. Because I always let the bees taste the food, get the food. Because what happens is the bees say, hey, yo, there's a plant here. And it's got flowers. And it tells all its friends. And then next year, they come back and they're like, hey, there's flowers again. And then from then on, you'll get good pollination because the bees will come back to where they know there's a reliable, consistent food source. So I always let the blooms go, and then I just cut off the fruit when I'm letting the plant establish. Now, this guy obviously has a thicker trunk, but look at that. It's hard to see as much, but this guy is loaded with flowers again. More flowers than actual new leaf growth, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping to have him or her branch out more here, but that doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately. I don't know what I'm gonna do about, oh, I missed one. Look at this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the calamondin. According to the extension book I got, which showed the timing and stuff, the calamondin in our area produces pretty much year round. And I'm like, well, crap, because you can eat it when it's green, but it's better when it's fully yellow or orange, whatever you want to call it, right? Look at all that. Just crazy. So this guy is clearly very aggressive on the flowering. I've also heard that these guys can get really big if you put them in the ground. So this guy might be more aggressive of a grower. So I might just let this dude fruit. But my big concern about that is I want to see how this tree handles our summer. And having this tree handle our summer first year in the ground with a bunch of fruit is just not wise. So I gotta remove the fruit. Yeah, painful, but you got to, because part of you wants to have it because you want to try it, but it's like, no, you got to remove the fruit. You got to let it grow out. You got to let it, the wind came, so it kind of messed everything up. You got to let it grow out, bush out. But yeah, as you can see, this is the hard part of when you plant a tree. That first year or two, you really want it to thrive in your yard, thinning fruit. And with citrus, they flower, most turn into fruit, and then the tree says, what can I handle? I'll shed the rest. Unless you got like a satsuma or something, but most do. And then you have to go in, all those little bitty fruits. And it's easy to miss them, and you got to remove all of them. And I tell you what, that sucks. Because I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new citruses. I think I counted them all. I planted in the ground that I have to now remove the fruit on. Talk about tedious. Super duper tedious. But if you do it, you get really good results. So it's definitely worthwhile to do. Okay, so that's a little citrus rant, because man, it sucks. It really does. Like, I tell you what, people are like, oh, it gets easier. It's like, no, it doesn't. Removing hundreds of citrus it's like a short term over long term gratification, right? Like, look at all these clover. It's like it's beautiful. I think these clover are the reason this persimmon did so well. Like, either that or it's the rootstock. It's one of those two things. But these clover just really made this area their own, and it's like awesome. And if you feel in the heat of summer, if you put your hands underneath, the ground is so much cooler, and I think the persimmon just really enjoyed that. But yeah, back on the train. My goal with this yard is to have really strong, hardy trees that can produce really well. The more established the trees get, like once they pass that growth phase and they're established, all the food you eat, for the most part, the peels, the scraps, whatever, go back into the garden. So really, you don't have to add a lot of inputs to maintain the nutritional density of the fruit you're eating. It's just during that growth and establishing phase that you really want to really work on enriching your soil. And then from there, it's really just, you're adding, some dust on top, so to speak. So right now, the trees that aren't big and strong, I want them to become big and strong. So I'm prioritizing their growth and their longevity over fruit. So short-term sacrifice for long-term gain is essentially the methodology here. And you can't see it here, but this guy's, how thick that trunk is. Like, look at that. Hold on. Look at that. That's crazy. It's a thick trunk. It's just massive, and it's just loaded with fruit because this guy just gets strong. Some trees you don't have to worry about with as much. Like this guy. This guy was a little bit of an experiment. But this guy had fruit on it last year and was planted last year in the middle of summer, and it grew like a foot all around. The guy planted in the early spring or the fall of the previous year. He grew, and I let him have fruit. He grew like 3 feet. Like, look. He grew like 3 feet. Like, he was just massive. So these guys are on standard, because he's a Yorizan almond, whereas the all-in-one almond is definitely way slower of a grower. So because this guy is so aggressive, I was like, I'm going to let him fruit. Same for mulberries. Mulberries are very aggressive, so I'm just like, I'm going to let him fruit. Same for figs. Aggressive trees like mulberries, figs, for some reason, this almond variety, I'm going to let fruit when they fruit, because the fruit don't take a lot of weight. I don't have to worry about breaking branches. You know what I mean? And so when you put those like establishing fast growing trees first, you kind of get a quicker, return on your investment, which is super nice. So if a weaker tree, I have to take away its ability to produce fruit. Stronger trees, I let produce fruit. But the goal is, this entire citrus row, I'm going to let produce fruit, right? 3, I think it's like 2 of the citrus I have in the ground, I'm going to let produce fruit. Next year, another 14 come on. Did I count my math right? I thought I had 17 in the ground. Well, let me think about this for a second. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I not math? Let me find out. Hold on, guys. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I forgot the lemon. I forgot my little New Zealand lemon, who's just tucked away in this wee little corner with all this stuff that came from the nursery pot that looks really pretty. It is also budding out like crazy. Look at that. See that? So 17. Of these 17, 2 are established and will produce fruit. My Kishu and my Tangle Mandarin. The other 15, I'm not letting produce this year. And then from there, I'm going to wait to see how thick the trunks get, how well they handle our summer, and I'll let a portion produce fruit. The likely candidates are the Calamandan or Calamansi, the Tarocco Bream Blood Orange, and the Moro Blood Orange. These are the 2 that'll likely come online this next year. So not this year, but next year, I'll likely let them fruit because they'll likely be established enough to where they can handle production. So of the 17 in the ground, 2 are online right now. Another 3 are going to come online. That's 5. And then after that, so it's 25, it's 26, so 2027, probably the other 12 are going to come online. That's crazy. And then obviously, if we're talking raised beds, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 in the raised beds on dwarf rootstock and stuff. Some of them, though, I'll probably have to... Some of them, like I said, they weren't doing so well, so they're like a duplicate. So I'll probably cull. Like, for example... Sorry if you hear the pigeon flapping its wings in the background. If I go over here... Once again, like, beautiful tree. All of its leaves. This is the Spice Z Nectaplum. Really, really pretty. So, like, this guy. I don't know, because he took really significant sunburn damage, if he's going to come back. But the Marumi's doing fine. This guy's doing fine. Surprisingly, this little key lime, full of flowers, but he's doing fine. And then this is just a cutting of a lime quat, another one that I just rooted out, and it grew. But it just hasn't been doing as well. So we'll see what happens. If I'm dissatisfied with its production again, what I'm probably going to do is do some clones from the lemon and the strawberry guava, and then I'm just going to replace them. Any trees in this realm, I'm going to replace with like a dwarf guava that is, obviously, because the goal is to create a hedge. So I am going to replace with like other evergreen plants, but are dwarfing. And then the goal is I kind of have them planted right here, but in the front part of this raised bed, I can grow like veggies, cabbages, all that type of stuff. That was kind of the goal for this. Holy cow. Look at that flower. Ooh, just splayed out. It's crazy. Okay, so sorry if it's a little discombobulated. Like I said, it's my second time doing the video, but yes, to go back, lots of citrus this year. Really pretty, really proud of them. Lots of buds. The raised bed trees, I'm not going to prune. I mean, I'm not going to, remove the fruits from. But of the 17 in-ground trees, 15 I'm going to have to remove the fruit from, and that is going to suck. You know what I mean? That is going to suck. It is going to be a pain in my keister. I'll tell you what, especially with some of the bud growth on them. Woo! So yeah, it's going to be painful. As far as harvesting goes, because you're probably asking yourself like, hey, what are you even harvesting in your yard? What's going on? Right now, this would be the time I'd be eating more citrus. Well, I mean, I technically have the Tango Mandarin that I'm eating from, but I eat sparingly because my wife loves it. But I'd say in another week, the mulberry is going to come. Shangri-La is going to come online, and then after Shangri-La, we're going to have Eve, the dwarf everbearing, which is this guy right here. Oh, there you just saw Petey. He's flying around in the background. He's adorable. So I would say if you look at the start of the year, the goal with my citrus is pretty much December all the way through June citrus. Late March, but we can just say April through June, mulberries, early June. So late March, early June, mulberries. May through June, apricots and loquats. July through, I would say, well, right now, July and August, you kind of have your plums and your plum hybrids, not including apricots. Now, I do have a plan that once we get, if in the future, I'm trying to save up enough money to get a patio. There's 2 Petey's. Where are they? There's one. You see it? Oh crap! Petey's eating. Oh, okay. Petey's eating the gnats and stuff. Yeah, dude. Hummingbirds are super amazing because they just eat everything that's a problem. Once I started creating this garden, I didn't have any problems with freaking mosquitoes whatsoever. This garden took care of it, which is super beautiful. Oh, but yeah. So back to it. I am gonna do a stone fruit selection, and there's a lot of stone fruit plum hybrids that will literally be ripe from July, successive ripening from July all the way through October. So hopefully I can have a stone fruit harvest from literally, which includes peaches and apricots, May all the way through like November. And then it's like May through November stone fruit, December through June citrus. So you kind of have an overlap, and then you also, so like that's going to be kind of how I'm trying to design this yard. And then obviously you have the in-betweens, your guavas, your avocados, your mulberries, your sapotes, hopefully the sapote. So that's kind of the goal of this garden, and hopefully it works out. There's a couple more things I wanted to show you guys, but this video's been long enough, so I'll show you that time next year, and not next year, next week. And hopefully, because these are things that haven't fruited before, and I didn't know if it could fruit, so it's really cool. So I'll show you that next time. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.